Hi, my name is Ali Sultan, and I would put community in my immigrant jam.
We cannot believe it. We're back with a brand new episode of Immigrant Jam, the podcast. I'm your host, Lucy Pohl. And it's Immigrant Jam, the podcast where we celebrate one immigrant at a time, baby. One immigrant at a time. Immigrants, one at a time. Everything immigrant, anything immigrant. We celebrate it right here. And community, yes, a huge part of it. Speaking of community, check out the Patreon. What a segment. Patreon.com/Lucy Pohl. Do it. It's fun. It's a community. It's a jamily. It's an immigrant jam family. It's a jamily. But now, without further ado, I must introduce you to the guest of the hour. This specimen of a human hails from across the globe, all the way from, well, I hope I'm getting this right, Ethiopia, Yemen, and of course, the great, beautiful, influential state of Minnesota. Yes, it's true. He's a comedian. He's an amazing man of the world. Please welcome to the podcast, the one and only Ali Sultan.
Wow, what an intro. And you got it absolutely right. You not only, you did the research, you know exactly of all the places that I'm from.
I did all the research.
You did a good
job. That's right, baby. So community?
Mm-hmm. Community.
Because you miss it? Because we think we need more of it?
It was the last thought I had by myself today is about community. Because, you know, that loneliness is an epidemic now. The reason people listen to podcasts is because, unfortunately, it's lonely out there.
Yes, who's lonely right now? We're here for you, baby.
Been because we're all trying to connect to a device instead of to each other, right?
Right.
And I guess I was thinking about, like, community is like what people lack, and it's what pushes people to get into, like, sometimes the wrong tribes, you know what I mean? I think people are crazy for Trump because they're lonely.
Yes.
And you just kind of like see what the people around you are doing, and you want to be part of that identity, whether you truly believe in it or not.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. You know, I'm German. I came here when I was 8.
And speaking of Germany,
exactly.
What community did they have in?
What did they get wrong? Any guesses? What community did the
worst
Germans
community of all
choose?
time?
That was wrong. But, you know, I grew up here. I was 8, and it wasn't cool to be German, and I really wanted to fit in. I wanted to be part of a community. And,
tell me more.
Well, I'm telling you more right now. And I had some German girlfriends, right? We'd get together almost every night. We would sit in a circle, which in Germany is just a square. But we'd pray. I'm serious. We'd pray that we'd wake up Puerto Rican.
What?
We just wanted to be Puerto Rican. To be a true New Yorker, you got to be Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? But community, no, totally, definitely. And you know, it's funny because did you ever watch John Leguizamo's?
Did you get super offended when Tony did a joke about Puerto Rico?
You're talking about me.
These are my people, bro.
My Germanican people. I did. I mean, I'm offended that person calls himself a comedian. That's the biggest joke of all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what a loser. Whatever.
Anyways.
No, not anyways. Fuck him. We can talk about him. Fuck that guy.
First of all,
how do you feel about it?
About I never liked that guy.
Who likes that guy?
Well, the thing is, like, okay, I come from a smaller scene, so it's easier to notice trends.
Yeah.
Then I think New York is just like 6, 7 scenes at once. So in smaller, medium scenes, you see like every 2 years a new batch comes in and some people phase out. And every batch is different. Like when I started comedy, it was like edgy, and then it got like to the awkward space. You know, the awkward white guy, the geeks were in, and then they phased out. And then it was like the social justice commentary comics came in.
Yeah.
And then I think a response to that went back to kind of like edgy.
Right.
So lately,
the anti-woke, you mean by
the
edgy?
anti-woke, yeah. So, which is the same coin, right?
Right.
So, the other side of it. So now the last batch has been psychopaths, like
yes.
like school people that could have almost been a school shooter, and thank God they found comedy. Maybe he's doing God's work in that sense, because these people are scary. So we're getting a batch of insane people, and the bottom always is influenced by who's on top. So people look at you know, they eat Tonys and whatever, and be like, oh, there's a place for me and I can succeed.
But also, again, this also goes back to community, right?
Yes.
It's like
yes.
because because
There's a space for them now.
there's a space for them now, and I actually just because I was curious, right? I went on his Instagram. I've never gone on that guy's Instagram just to see how many followers he had after the rally. It was like 717,000. Now he's at 780,000.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. But you know what? It's just like good luck with that shithead crowd. You know, not every crowd is equal.
Exactly. Good luck with that shit out crowd. But exactly, it's this community, and I guess whoever stands on a soapbox and screams loud enough will find a community.
The more authentic you are, the harder it is for you to find like-minded people.
The harder it is, you think?
I think so. I think it's hard. Like if you go on social media, and it's not a bad thing, but sometimes you can do like if you're doing some sort of identity-based topics that people, you know, like I can go on the internet and be like, I'm an Ethiopian this, Ethiopian that, and I'll get a shit ton of Ethiopian people following me.
Right.
Because of their also need to be part of this community.
Right.
They feel validated and they feel like a part of something. So, but when you're more than that, when you identify as like I'm more than a nationality or a race or a political identity or whatever, and you're like just a mix of things, you can catch people one wave at a time, and hopefully they kind of get together at one point. But it's authentic when you're being like fully authentic on the internet. It takes time.
It's so interesting because I struggle with that so much, and I've always felt this like sense of envy of people that have like one national identity and find their community like that. You know, so. And I think, that's such an interesting point.
But to summarize that identity, you're the outsider. You're the person that can never fit in. You know what I mean? Because I feel the same way. Because you know, like I was born in Yemen.
Exactly.
And then that was my identity, and I was like I held on to it tightly. And then I found out like I was more Ethiopian.
What do you mean you found out?
I grew up I didn't have my dad growing up, so I grew up on my mom's side of the family. My grandmother is Ethiopian, and my grandpa was Yemeni. And then they told me my dad was fully Yemeni, so I just like assumed, and you go by the dad over there, so I was like, oh, I'm Yemeni. Then eventually I found out that like my dad is also mixed, and I did a DNA test. I was like 55% Ethiopian. But then when I went to Ethiopia, I was seen as like not fully Ethiopian.
Right.
When I was in Yemen, I was not fully Yemeni.
Right.
Then when I came to the States, I was, you know,
what are you?
Whatever, Puerto Rican.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's just like, but that's why I kind of never held on too tight to these like surface identities. I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna try to like fit in. So I just kind of did my own thing.
But was that easy for you?
It was isolating for sure, but I was kind of got comfortable with being more alone. I'm introverted, so that kind of helped. But with time and age, I'm realizing the importance of being part of a community. So now I'm just kind of like, I pop in, you know what I mean? I go get some Yemeni food, hang out with my Yemeni people. They start talking of crazy shit. I leave.
What's crazy shit?
One thing's get like kind of on the like religious end. I'm out.
Did you grow up religiously?
Yeah, I grew up super Muslim. Yeah, and then now I'm kind of like I'm like a white girl now. I'm like spiritual.
You have crystals and shit.
Hey, that's right.
Oh, you got beads.
I got beads.
Next stop, go to LA. Move to LA.
To me, God is infinite, and it's something you can't describe. It's just like a spirit, energy. It could be whatever. It's something we can't describe. So however you can conceptualize it is correct. Whether it's Jesus, whether it's Allah, whether it's a shrine, whether it's a bottle of delicious water, whatever.
Yes.
However
Worship
you
the
can
delicious water.
connect to that source and feel like you're one with something bigger than you, that's fine with me.
Was that somebody in your life that influenced you to think freely for you? Because that's like independent, critical thought, right?
That's
How does
where
that happen?
the not being part of a community helps out. Because I had to spend so much time alone and think for myself and not default what the group is telling me to do. I think I just have more of a critical mind.
And also I think it's interesting that you said you're introverted because I feel I'm introverted, but I'm like kind of loud, and I walk into a room and I'm like, hey, everybody. And so everybody's like, you're not introverted. Yeah. But I think a lot of performers are introverted. Yeah. People don't know that. People think performers are extroverts. Of course, we're not shy. You know, no way. You can't be if you're on stage. But actually, I think a lot of us are very shy.
Yeah, it's an introvert job to be a comic.
You think so?
It comes from observations. Like, you have to be quiet and look in and analyzing the world and your life and stuff like that, and then you report it. Just being I
love that. Yeah. I love that. That's how you call performing reporting.
Yeah. You're just so you're like a shitty journalist for your life.
Shitty journalism. I love
that's what a comic is. I guess nowadays we're better than journalists because at least we're honest.
They should give us Peabody Awards. That's true. Oh shit, we're honest. You hear that?
We're honest. Media? Sometimes.
Are you gonna vote?
Of course.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, you believe that's important?
Voting?
Yes. I'm not saying that like in a loaded way. I voted.
I know. So that's a very good question. I don't think I'm smart enough to answer that question, but Trump scares me, so I'm going to vote.
Yeah.
I've, like his first month in office, my life was affected directly.
Tell us how.
So like my mother just got married for the fourth time.
What? Badass. I love her.
Not a quitter.
Fucking Elizabeth Taylor over there.
And like she went through a bad divorce. I had to like help her through the divorce and take care of her for a year and a half. And then she got back on her foot and then found a guy that's like a family friend. So I was like, you just feel a huge weight off your shoulder. Like, okay, my mom can find still happiness and find someone she loves and etc. And it was a good time for us. And then she couldn't bring him to the country because of the ban. So like when Trump got in office, he did the
Muslim ban.
Yeah, he did
as they called it.
Executive order.
Disgusting name. We shouldn't even say that name. They called it that.
I don't know whoever coined Muslim. He pretended it's not, but it was like obviously.
Right. And your mom's husband was in Yemen.
Couldn't come in because he's Yemeni. He wasn't able to come right away. So like off the bat, I was like, at first I was like, this might be entertaining. You know what I mean? When he got elected, I was like, let's see how much of what he says is he actually will implement and how much of it was bullshit. I was like, oh, this guy's active.
Well, I think it's important because to talk about that, and also again, community, because I feel that a lot of people say it's not going to make a difference. What's the difference? They're all liars, but they don't think about their community. They don't think about, but hold on, there's people that it will make a difference for. It's just not just you and your life.
Yeah, I mean, our other argument is like, okay, they're not taking a good position on what's going on in the Middle East, etc.
The Democrats.
But that's
and that's true.
That's true. Yeah. But then at the same time, what about the environment? What about, things that are impactful to everybody? You know what I mean? Do you want to let this guy go roam crazy? We've seen the type of damage he did the first time. So,
I agree with that.
And I just is like, I'm not like, I don't like politicians in general. I think both sides stink. But
you got to be inherently an asshole to
unfortunately, it's just like always like a lesser evil situation.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not even that huge of a.
I totally, I totally agree with that.
I should learn more to see like, the impact that happens. But if I was a president, my campaign would be like hugs for everybody. Mandatory hugs. Every Friday and Saturday.
Didn't they have?
I'll listen to you and people will both.
I feel like, maybe I'm making this up, but I feel like in Japan or somewhere, they had these like snuggle pods. You could snuggle with people.
I believe I've heard of these.
I mean, I would fuck with a snuggle pod.
I thought about this. I remember when I was like, last time I had a breakup, and I was like, I needed some sort of fucking.
You need a snuggle?
Platonic. Because I get so jealous. Like when women break up, they have like, they can snuggle with their female friends, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Dylan?
In your 20s, you don't really do that anymore.
I think it depends. You're German, but
you don't think we snuggle? No, German snuggling is like, hello, here's a handshake.
You don't seem that physically affectionate group of people.
Germans?
Yeah, very stiff, very stiff folk.
I know, it's horrible. I don't feel German in that sense. I'm super snuggly. I'm a hugger. But also a hugger by social awkwardness. Like I never know what to do. I get super nervous, and then I hug people. Hugging is the way to go. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people are
Sometimes people don't,
uncomfortable.
like, hug it.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we hugged. It
Yeah,
felt
we hugged.
it felt natural.
Yeah.
it felt natural and
decent.
not weird. But I've like gone into hug and then thought, what am I doing? I don't. This is like a random doorman.
Yeah.
That is just letting me into a building and he doesn't want to hug me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's
like
funny.
now he feels uncomfortable. I've had people say
done
like,
that.
I'm not a hugger.
I've done the hugs. Lately I've been catching myself telling people I love you.
Wow, peak American.
And then saying nothing back to me. I'm like, fuck, man. Why did I do it? And then I did it again to the same person. I'm like, man, she thinks I'm obsessed now.
I love that. Wait,
And Mama, just say I love you back.
come on,
Come on, Mama. You're making
4
me feel
husbands and you
sad.
can't say I love you.
No, not Mama. A Mama.
A mama.
You know, a
Oh, a
mama.
mama. Shout
Yeah,
out to Mama Sardar.
I think the last
a
2
very
times we did
funny
podcast, I was like,
comic.
I love you. And she's nothing
What the
back.
fuck, a
I think
mama?
too soon for me. Too soon.
Yo,
I'm coming in too
comment.
hot. I just think.
That's gonna be the clip for this episode. Just straight throwing shade at a mama for not telling you she loves you.
Because I love you is such an interesting word. It's like you say it to the most intimate fucking
But
person
not
in
in
your
America.
life. But then also, but I think other countries like it should be given. It should be given.
But
You throw it
really,
away.
because wait, so did you grow up mostly in Ethiopia or mostly in Yemen?
Everywhere. I grew up enough where I picked up things from.
Okay, so
each
in
place.
Ethiopia and Yemen, do people
my-
say "I love you" to each other like that? Because they don't in Germany.
And yeah, like Arabs use the word habibi, which means my
Habibi,
love.
my love, yeah,
Exactly.
that's
so
true.
Very warm language.
But my love is still different than I love.
Ethiopians
you.
are not like lovey in their language.
No.
No.
And also, we never would say, we don't even, it would be very weird in German to say, I love your shoes.
Oh yeah.
People would be like, you love? Like, you're actually like, that would actually mean you're like in love with the shoes. You know?
Yeah. So love is reserved for.
Yeah. Ich liebe dich. I love you in German. Ich liebe dich.
I know that one.
Oh, okay. We didn't know.
You didn't think I have German friends?
He's gotten around. Is so serious.
It is.
But
it
you know
is.
what's terrible? In Spanish, they have 2 different levels of I love you. I'm dating a Colombian.
I like that. That's what I want.
I hate that.
I love that one.
Because it's not fair. I say I love you. I don't have another level to go to. He says te quiero. He still has te amo to go to. But I've shot all my fucking
Ooh, that's
love.
good. You said you love nut. One shot.
one shot. I love you. I don't have another level. And he goes te quiero. Now I have to wait for him to love me so much that he says te amo. And me, I've already told him I love
Can
him
you
to
tell
the
where
max.
you guys at in the relationship based on which one he's throwing at you?
No, I forced him to say te amo.
All the time. Man.
You better fucking say it.
That's
no,
good. I
but-
like that. I
but
think we
it's
should
interesting,
invent
right?
a new one.
That's a
like
more love, like a higher
more-
love.
Yeah. And we use that only for like,
The
serious weddings.
It is wild though in America. I feel like how people throw around
I love
like
you.
love you or
Yeah.
just love you.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of how I throw it out. But I think it's a little bit.
I throw it around too. And look, I feel a lot. So like
Yeah,
I could
that's
probably
what I'm saying.
love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of this, like not in a weird way,
Yeah.
but I could feel that. Like, oh
Which
my
is
God, I
good. We
love
need
this
more of
guy.
that. We need
yes.
more of that.
And so I throw it around too. I like also to say that to people, but I feel that at the same time, the fact that people throw it around so much here says something about the types of relationships in this country, which I feel are different than in other countries.
Sure.
Do you have that experience?
Sure. I'd agree with that.
Like flakier, more superficial. People will say like,
It's a lot of meaningless words.
a lot of meaningless words and a lot of like, yeah, let's meet up next week. And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay. And then next week I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And they're like, what are you talking about?
I hate those types.
You
of
just
people.
say that.
Those people. There's a specific brand of people though. I don't think it's like a cultural thing.
Okay, you don't think it's cultural?
Maybe
Oh,
it is
that's
in New
interesting.
York, but I those people are like your typical like nice folks.
Mm-hmm.
They present nice, but their like actions are not matching the niceness. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But what are people in Minnesota like?
They're not great. I shouldn't say that. I have a show coming up this weekend. Love Minnesota, best city in town. Minnesotans are interesting. They're Midwestern, right? So they're more reserved. A lot of them have moved from like their ancestry is Scandinavian.
Uh-huh.
So that
Yeah.
Kind of like, stoic. Stoic. I think their parents don't hug,
I love that you didn't go for that at all.
I don't know what that is.
You're like,
I don't know what that is about. for all I know, you did the N-word for Scandinavians. And I was like, I don't want to be hot potato. I don't want it.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, like Midwestern, I think somebody had an interesting theory. It's like, could be because of the elements. So like, you go to warm places, people are a lot warmer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because it's warmer, people are they're outside more, so they interact more.
Mm-hmm.
But then in places like Minnesota, it's very cold and dark, and everybody drives, and so during the winter, everybody's inside.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's the point of making a friend? You won't see him until July. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit, that's horrible.
Right? So like, I think that's part of it,
Right.
and I don't know. It's whatever.
I believe in the elements, and also I believe in like what the ground is that the place is built on. Like New York is granite, and it's like explosive, right? Granite is like glittery and explosive.
Ooh. Energy.
Berlin, energy. Berlin, for example, this is good for your white girl spirituality. Berlin, for example, is built on swampland. And it has that like downward pulling you down energy. Like
explains the orgies. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. You got to have some fun while you're in the swampland.
Really? Swamp?
Yes.
How do you build on swamp?
Well, it's not swamp anymore. It's underneath. I don't know. Now, don't push me to be that smart.
That's interesting. I like that theory. It's just like the energy. But I also think here, because you get the subways and it's dense and it's diverse, so people have to like interact whether they like it or
Community.
not. Yeah, people got to at least know how to deal with people here, which is awesome.
Right, exactly.
I like New York a lot, actually.
You do?
I do. I think the people here are nicer than the Midwest.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Of course we're nicer. And also, even when we tell you to fuck off, it's nicer.
At least honest, you know what I mean?
Honest, exactly. Direct, honest. You know
Midwest
exactly where you're
like, hi, and then they call the cops on you. You're like, fuck you. Dude.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. What kind of stuff do you miss from Yemen or Ethiopia, or like
Minnesota.
what kind of stuff would you bring, you import?
Ethiopia, it's also very beautiful, and people are very like sweet there and super civil. Like Ethiopians are very interesting. Like the Christian and the Muslim population, at least when I lived, got along so well that they would celebrate each other's holidays.
Wow, really?
So like, I was in a Muslim household, and my family, not only did they like celebrate like the Ethiopian like version of Christmas or whatever, they would even make the homemade like alcohol, kind of like a beer thing at home, because that's what it's called. Allah.
Oh, that's why they celebrated it.
Yeah. We didn't even drink it, but
so
like they just celebrated, and vice versa. People like visit each other's homes.
Wow.
And, the coffee's great. I like the food a lot. And people are very sweet. Yemen, it's just home. You know what I mean? Like it's my first home, my first love, but everything that I love is gone. So
people, or
the
also
people,
places.
the landmark, the memories. You just go there, and like the things that you're used to are gone. And the people
are they gone
changed.
Because of war, or are they gone because of just?
I think time would have already done enough damage. But at least, let's say if you grew up in the States, you go back to the home that you grew up in, it still looks the fucking same. It's not been bombed. You know what I mean? It's
that's why I asked.
It hasn't, you know what I mean? But like, it just like, and the people, are so depressed now, So like, if I go to Yemen, I'd probably be very sad, because like the version of it that I love is gone. Yeah.
How long has it been since you've been there?
I lived there the first like 10 years of my life, and the last time I was there was like 2010 actually, so quite a bit, 14 years. Yeah.
But you still feel connected.
I still like a lot. The people are very simple and like very humble and sweet. The food is incredible. Even though they're like not the most educated bunch, but they're actually so sweet and generous and kind. So like love that, miss that. But yeah, a lot of like my core memories are there, and they're gone. So that's that. Like that. It's a very specific problem that everybody has, which is like having your home taken away in a way.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't. It's all It's not what it used to be, and it's not as accessible because like the war right now. Which I'm getting emotional right now.
That's okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Like it's But What would I like there if I were to go up? Family, I still have like aunts and uncles and stuff like that, so it'd be nice to see them.
But I think it's like really good for people to hear also what that's like to carry around that kind of like pain of that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people, well, I think one of the main reasons why I do this podcast and also the show is because even though I don't have that kind of pain connected to something being gone or war torn, but I have this like pain of not really having a home and always kind of feeling like I don't belong anywhere and always wanting so badly to belong somewhere and having, even now, like I accept it and I'm like, this is me and this is my strength to be the outsider and stuff. But I think this, you know, when you move around a lot, especially as a kid, and when you come from different cultures and different nationalities, then there is this like longing in your heart because you don't have this anchor that kind of that you can you don't have this place that you can anchor yourself to as like, this is my nationality, this is my home, this is my identity that you can fall back on, you know. And I can imagine that, especially if like,
because I think the one time I felt that way was when I was in Yemen as a kid.
Right.
That's how I was like, oh, this is home, this is this and this and that.
Right. And then I guess it also started for you when you found out that you're not fully Yemeni.
I guess. It slowly happened throughout the year, but initially, I think the biggest thing was just moving as a kid. So once I moved away, then I was then different than the people I left, and come back and you're not the same person.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I identify with so much, and so many people, no matter where they're from, I think once you've left, especially as a kid, and especially if you're over, I would say maybe the age of 2, 3, 4, you know, where you actually remember shit, then when you go to the country where you were born, I mean, I'm the American in Germany, and here I'm European or whatever that is, and I'm not anything anywhere. You know what I mean? Right. And it's kind of nice because you're like a person of the world, but it's also painful at the same time.
There's a loneliness to it.
Yeah, there's a loneliness.
But there's also romanticizing that first home type of thing, because like,
that too.
You know, people like grew up in small towns and then they leave and then they go every Thanksgiving. You're like, thank God I'm gone. Thank God I got out of here. But you don't want to be the guy who stays in that home forever either.
Especially, you know, in the comedy world, you see so many comics that have immigrant backgrounds, but that grew up in the U.S. or were even born here, who now identify more with their immigrant background and their parents' background than...
Because it sells tickets.
than being Americans. And it's so funny because their parents, like, were so proud that they had an American kid, and now their kids are like, fuck this shit.
I think the kids start with saying, like, they want to be like part of the white culture.
Right.
And then they get rejected, and then they're like,
that's a good point. Right. Yeah, exactly. And that, again, that's like always trying to find community in one way or another, right?
Communities.
But
everything.
I think a lot of people that come on this podcast talk about community and say that that's like the biggest thing that they feel is lacking in this country. That this is such an individualistic country.
It is super. Yeah, it's such a sad way. That's one thing. Like, you go to poor countries and stuff like that, at least they have, like, I'm come from a lot of places where you don't have healthcare, you don't have a credit card, you just have the money that you have, and if it's out, it's out, you know. And there are some of the happiest people and the healthiest people because they know they need to rely on each other by default. You have to. I'll help you. You help me. It's all about abundance instead of like crab in a barrel, like,
scarcity
mentality. Exactly. So.
That's what my last guest, Murad Awade, the president of the New York Immigration Coalition, made such a good point. He was like, poverty is a policy choice. And it comes from this scarcity mentality that's instilled in people, like, people have to have less for me to have more. And then you became a comedian, which... Was that mind-blowing for your family?
It's like if I came to you and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get in a pickleball league. I'm gonna be a professional pickleball player. You're not mind blowing because you don't even know what is pickleball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like just weirded out by the idea.
Yeah.
That's how they work. Because stand up comedy is not a thing for us.
But supportive.
Yeah, I think initially just like, oh, why don't you just like have a plan B?
Did you know from when you were a
I
teenager?
started at 22. And I wrote my first joke at 14, 15.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was actually, I remember the premise. I don't remember the joke. The premise was like, I remember like Arnold Schwarzenegger just became governor.
Uh-huh.
And then I was just like, the bit was like, America like loves entertainers. Like people are voting for... You know, like it was
Ahead
something
of your
about
time.
how, yeah, right.
Wow,
That's a
bring that
big
joke
big
back.
idea for
What
a
the
15-year-old, right? Yeah. And then something around. It was an observation about that.
Great.
But yeah, I used to watch Conan when I came here, and then I watched Jim Gaffigan for the first time on live doing stand-up comedy.
How old were you when you actually moved here?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So I saw Jim Gaffigan do stand up, and I was like, "This is I like this. whatever this
English?
is, huh?"
Did you speak English when you moved here?
Barely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's why I watched Conan because he's so physical and
Right.
funny. And
How long did it take you to learn English?
Very quickly, 3 months to speak, and then writing and reading took a little longer, like maybe a year or so. But
Do you remember your first day at school?
here. Oh yeah, I do. I think so. Yeah, I do. I remember being screamed at a lot. Like
On your first day?
like not like a yelling, more like I didn't know what people will say, and then you just repeat it louder, and it really like annoyed it would be teachers. It'd be like, I just don't know what they're saying. They're like, "Are you here as a student?" And like they just yell it. I'm like, I'm not deaf.
Right. Why do people do that, right?
I know,
They
it's
talk
like, you're
louder.
You're a teacher. What do you? How do you not know?
Didn't you go to school and
Yeah.
learn how
Just
to...
simple logic. This
handle
guy
people?
can't speak the language. I have a translator with me. Just talk to this guy. They gave me a translator.
Oh, you had a translator?
Yeah, they gave me this kid named Ahmed who's Iraqi, and it was very funny. This is really funny. I'm likable, I guess. So like
Yes.
Ahmed, I made more friends than him right away.
Oh, no. Everybody hated Ahmed. Oh, no.
I think he was just not super loved, and and then I got in with a group that he wanted to get in with before he did.
Oh, my
But he's
God.
still my translator, so he had to come to like everyone. He would be in my like eating lunch with us and etc. So that was kind of funny to me.
I remember my first day too, not understanding anything and just being so in awe with this kid pulling out. Well, first of all, lunch boxes. Did you have lunch boxes?
Lunchboxes are crazy. I love those.
Yeah, but you didn't have
Crazy. I
those
didn't know that.
in
No.
Ethiopia,
No,
did you?
I didn't have food. I was starving, bro. I haven't had breakfast in 3 years. Go ahead.
What is this thing?
I was like,
this is toast,
They have
Ali.
2 meals? This is crazy.
You can drink water with your meal here?
Yeah.
No, lunch boxes blew my mind. And then my mom gave me this like 1950s purse that she thought would like work as a lunchbox. So I was a total weirdo. And then this kid pulled out spray cheese and a cracker
Okay.
and like
Did that?
Like cheese in a
That's
can.
mind blowing. Yeah.
what?
Like,
My
what the
mind was
fuck?
fucking
What is
blown.
this? What is this?
I could not believe it. I felt like, oh my God, I'm on Mars.
This is the future.
This
Yeah.
is the future and the past and the fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I'll
In
never
reality,
forget
it's
that.
Florida.
Yeah, exactly. And then reality, it's cancer.
It's white trash behavior.
There was this kid with braces. I'd never seen braces either. People didn't have braces
that
in
weirded
Germany.
me out.
Yeah.
First time I seen
I was like,
braces.
whoa.
Like,
His name was Darren. And
I
he
thought it was
wearing
like a radio
plaid
thing. I was
shirt.
like, are you picking up AM, FM with this?
Ali, I always ask my guests if they grew up with any funny, cool, interesting sayings or proverbs. Did you?
proverbs?
I also looked some up.
I do remember one specifically. I think this is the first joke I've done. My first bit that I could remember.
Okay, amazing.
That's related to this saying. So if you have a mall,
A mole? Like a birthmark? Yeah.
something like that, they say, we call it حبة خال. The
Say it again?
حبة خال.
Habat hal.
Okay.
Almost?
Close enough. Cool. Hey. It's the kiss of an uncle. That's what it's called.
Kiss of an uncle?
Yeah.
Kind of creepy a little bit.
You know, not as much
Cute and creepy.
Cute, but like I don't think like here you have the stereotypical like uncle molesting.
Yeah.
That's not part of our culture there. It's like it's
I
not
love
a
it. That's so true. It's totally
That's what it
cultural
is,
here.
yeah.
You're like, here you guys are
Here
sick
you-
psychopaths.
Here, it's not, I don't even. I think it's just probably the numbers are the same. But here, I was like, hey, watch out for your uncle. Over there, your uncle is like a father, etc. So we have a thing called anything, you know, حبة خال we call it.
Wow.
So and then I knew I found from the streets that's what it's called, and I just had one right here. You see the center of my head, and then I had other ones, and I went to my uncle. And I said, hey, man, what's this? And he said, it's, kiss of an uncle. And I was like, what does that mean? He goes, that means I gave you a kiss when you were a baby. And then I said, why do I have one on my dick? And then he slapped me because that's how we do it back in Yemen.
Then
my
he
first
broke my
bit.
nose. Wow.
My first dick joke.
That's your first dick joke.
Yeah.
That's an intricate
I was
dick joke.
I was like 3 or 4 when I did that bit. I have,
3 or 4 years old?
Yeah, my memory goes back.
Oh, you did the bit
yeah,
actually on your
yeah,
uncle.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
You thought that was my closer on stage?
I don't know. I thought that was a bit when you were like 14.
No, this is me like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did get. He slapped me and laughed. I remember that specifically.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good discipline.
I was very proud of myself. I was like, I got him.
That's so funny. I found one. It's supposed to be Yemeni.
Okay.
And it says, don't show the woman the white of your tooth, or she will show you the red of her buttocks. Buttocks.
Okay, let's decipher this.
And it has the like
show her.
phonetic Arabic.
You
Something
smile
like,
at your wife, she'll impose on you.
yes.
So
Yeah,
far, what
two.
we know about Yemeni people, they kiss their nieces on the penis, and they don't smile at their wives.
Don't smile at your wives, and they kiss their nephews.
That's funny.
Okay, I
But you know
found
what's
a few-
funny? There's a big correlation between like rednecks and like those type of Yemeni people. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny. Like,
What do you mean?
Well, you know, right wing people are always like anti-immigrants, right?
Immigrants are the biggest anti-immigrants, bro.
But once
Why did I say
once
bro?
they get
I never say that.
but like that feels like a redneck saying. That feels like someone from the South wrote that
Yes, that's
as
true.
well. So I was like,
Yeah.
there's a.
Yeah, don't
like, I
don't
feel like
show
my
the white of your tooth to your woman.
I have like a side of my family who would do that type of, like my dad's side.
Yeah.
They're like brown necks, you know what I mean? And they're on
You
some
coined that?
They're literally like on some like hillbilly type of lifestyle. They're like marry their cousins. They say shit like this, and I was like, and these people here that like hate immigrants, like, no. I'm like, these are your people. If
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah,
just
yeah.
got over the fucking
Exactly.
color of the skin and the like
You're the
immigration
same.
part.
You're the same bigot,
you
homophobic,
same guy,
fucking
same brand.
misogynistic.
Same brand.
Same brand. Okay, there's some Ethiopian ones that I
Oh,
found.
okay. I don't know.
Okay, here's one.
My favorite Ethiopian saying is.
Oh, you have one?
That's not funny, but like the one that always I take with me is Mars Sibeza Yimarral, I think. Mars Sibeza Yimarral, which means like even honey at a higher quantity will become bitter.
Oh.
But it was like I got it as even like a young kid when I heard it. I was like, oh, anything too much of anything is a lot, even if it's sweet.
You live by that?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Really?
I like that,
You
Sure, I'm a big believer in that. Too much of anything is too much.
Wow.
Even if it's good for you, you just gotta balance is the point of it. I think, right?
Wow. No, I like that. Yeah. Here's one. One who tries to hide with a dog, a child, a goat, or a person with a cold will not remain hidden.
First of all, any expression that has a goat in it,
There's a lot of goat expressions.
a goat, bro.
Hey, I think any expression that has a goat in it, you know it's legit.
Yeah,
That's a legit
A man
proverb.
who lays with a goat. You're like,
Exactly.
all right.
The wind whispers in the goat.
Yeah,
What?
a goat. I feel like
You can throw a goat into any proverb
you
and
can
it'll be legit.
Say that again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One who tries to hide with a dog, a child, a goat, or a person with a cold, weird, will not remain hidden. Oh, you know what? They all make noise.
Ah, you thought we're dumb, huh?
We got you, Ethiopia.
We got you. You were like, oh, what is this goat sneezy guy?
Yes.
In your face, wisdom, bro.
Okay, you want to hear another one?
Hatu. Go ahead.
I love this one. Don't blame God for creating the tiger. Instead, thank him for not giving it wings.
I like that glass half full type of thing.
And I love
But it's
that.
also like that's the mentality
So
of
poetic.
anybody who's in an abusive relationship.
What? Wow.
Don't blame the guy for having a gun. Just thank God he's not using it. It's like, what?
Oh shit! Wow. Okay, I was just thinking of this poetic image of
There's like a
tigers flying
manipulative
around.
thing in this thing that I'm not fucking with. It's like, don't blame. It's like, you know, you equate it with anything else. It's like,
Okay, that's true. All right, fine. I fell for this
Tiger.
one.
That's-
And this one is cute. A coffee and love taste best when hot.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Ethiopian people love coffee. You say this?
You mentioned that you have good coffee, and I've been to an Ethiopian
not only
place
do we
here.
have good coffee, you are welcome, world, for any time you sip a coffee that is courtesy of both of my people, Ethiopians and Yemenis. You know
Really?
this?
How?
Do you know this?
No, I don't know this.
So,
I thought it was Colombians. I've been brainwashed by my
Colombians can
boyfriend.
fuck right off. So coffee discovered in Ethiopia. So story goes, a goat herder, got back to goats, saw that his goats would get energetic when they ate this cherry. Coffee comes from a cherry. And then it eventually became a brewed version of that became coffee. I think it started in Ethiopia, and then Yemeni people take credit for exporting it.
How funny is it that you notice goats getting energetic? I feel like
Yeah.
goats are mad energetic as it is.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, how do
Yeah.
you notice it? You're
Probably-
like, that goat is running around more
I hate
than
to say
before.
it, but it probably was like some breeding. But like, there's a lot more breeding happening.
They were fucking more.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to hide behind one.
Oh shit! So we really have the goats to thank for the coffee.
Mhm. Shout out to the goats.
So worship the goats, if anything.
Or Ethiopians, whatever. So,
Or
yeah, and
maybe
then-
Ethiopians
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
the goats.
There they go. And then Yemenis exported it throughout Europe and etc. Like Mocha is a place in Yemen. It's Mecca. So the name Mocha comes from Mecca, which is in Yemen.
But a mocha is like with chocolate,
Sure,
isn't it? No, I'm asking.
sure. Why not?
Is it? Is
You-
it in Yemen? Is a mocha
I don't
with
think
chocolate?
we're doing chocolate. I think you guys just mix, added chocolate to it. But
Okay,
But,
it's
yeah.
not with pumpkin spice. Is that from Yemen too?
I've never seen a pumpkin in Yemen.
Wait, so pumpkin spice lattes don't come from Yemen? Okay,
Have you ever had anything Ethiopian?
I have had many things Ethiopian.
Ethiopian food?
I've had Ethiopian food.
Ethiopian food. And somebody showed like
It's amazing.
a New Yorker who was like born in Brooklyn, like
Yeah.
a dude who's like from
Bernie
Brooklyn.
Sanders, basically.
I showed him pictures of Ethiopian food. It's like, yo, no. He goes, that looks like someone barfed on a pancake.
What? That's so fucked up.
And it's not wrong. It looks like someone barfed on a pancake. Ethiopian food is so delicious, but it looks so disgusting. I never I go and I have it all the time in restaurants, and I take a picture and I put it on my Insta story, and I go, no. Delete. It's just not pretty looking, but it's so good.
Ali, I could talk to you for hours about goats, cherries, and birthmarks. But alas, we have come to the point in the podcast where we must embark on a little thing I call the poll questionnaire. Are you ready to embark on this journey?
Okay.
Ali Sultan, by way of Ethiopia, by way of Yemen, by way of Minnesota, by way of Brooklyn, New York. Are you ready for the poll questionnaire?
Let's go. I'm very bad under pressure, but let's go.
If you were president of the United States of America, what American food would you ban?
Ban? Ooh. Dude. Can we
Corn
stop?
dogs?
Corn dog is disgusting, but
Disgusting.
I think one of the most overrated foods in
Yes.
America is turkey. Like Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
Thanksgiving turkey.
Disgusting.
Disgusting, bro.
Nobody
if it's so
likes
good,
turkey.
if it's so delicious, why are you not eating it every single, like at least once a month?
Yes.
They only eat it on fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
ass.
And they have to
the
have
stuffing
all
that's
these
in it.
sides.
Why don't you take that and shove
with
it up your
fucking
ass?
marshmallow. Exactly. Why don't you shove it up your ass instead of the turkey's ass, huh?
Dude,
How about that?
Yeah. Because
For a challenge.
my girlfriend, I go to her Thanksgiving thing and I told her like 2 days ago, I was like, thank God I'm not coming to your Thanksgiving this year. Because I would suffer because my family will go and do this like Yemeni Ethiopian Thanksgiving that has nothing to do with turkey.
Right.
And they're like smoking meat and doing all kind of delicious shit. And they send me pictures and I'm staring at a fucking dry turkey.
Oh my God.
With stuffing. What is stuffing?
Stuffing is so disgusting.
Disgusting.
So disgusting. No, totally true. Absolutely disgusting. Then they have to have all these sides with marshmallows on them just to cover the taste.
White people should be arrested on Thanksgiving in masses.
Yes, I agree. You know, my dad cries every Thanksgiving.
Does he? Because he has to eat the food?
No, but that would be funny if he cries because of the food. No, he cries because of the natives that were killed. He sits there and cries, and he's like, "It was so horrible."
Not the day to bum us out, bro. It's Thanksgiving.
But yeah, he cries because of the food. That's funny. Yeah, okay, ban Thanksgiving. I love that. If you were president, you just basically
No, I love Thanksgiving as a holiday because I think it's one of the best one. Because it hasn't been ruined. I guess the Black Friday is like cashing in on it, but that's just to be grateful. A day to be grateful. Great. Just can we fucking change the meat?
Do you do it?
I do the Thanksgiving, but
do you do the gratefulness?
I do gratefulness every night before I sleep. Yeah.
In what fashion?
I think of 5 things that I'm grateful for of the day. And sometimes it can be like as simple as like health. And just like this will make my gratitude list today. I was
really?
Like,
that's so nice.
A nice, connection. Dylan, maybe, I don't know. So I do 5 things I'm grateful for, and then I pray for just practical and whatever thing I want to pray for, and then I go to bed. That's the last thing I do before I sleep.
That's so nice. Just internally, do you write it down?
I just do it internally, and sometimes I'll say it out loud in a quiet voice because I live in a New York apartment.
I feel like tonight's list should tonight goats should also be on the list.
I'm very grateful for goats.
You know what I mean? We should all be grateful for goats. I love that. I love also having rituals. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, just a few more.
Gratitude goes such a long way.
Gratitude goes such a long way.
Yes. You have so much. I read an expression that I thought was so good. What was it? It was like, health is a crown only the sick can see. People forget just how lucky you are.
Yes.
To just be fucking healthy.
Oof,
the ability to walk and see and hear and just feel okay in your body. That's like to every day that makes my top 5.
100%.
Mental and physical, yeah.
So true. So true. So true. Okay, just a few more questions. If you could add one amendment to the U.S. Constitution, what amendment would you add?
And one more amendment to the Constitution. What was yours?
I would add an amendment to outlaw leaf blowers.
Leaf blowers.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Why?
I think leaf blowers inherently express so deeply what's wrong with humanity. What are you doing? First of all, what the fuck are you doing? Secondly, can you leave the leaves on the ground where they're supposed to go and make the earth better and compost and like for the animals, the bugs, everything, they need leaves. What are you doing? Why are you making noise for no reason? People make so much noise. Why are you making so much noise? Also, the fumes are bad for you. Most of the time, it's not even the people that own the leaf blowers. It's some worker that has to carry this thing around and breathe in the fumes for you because you don't want the leaves. Why don't you want leaves?
What's up with the blue? Yeah.
What's up with the leaves? Leaves are so
especially
beautiful.
In New York.
I took a video of leaves today.
In New York.
I'm obsessed with
it's
fucking leaves. Are beautiful.
It's like an accent to the ground. And meanwhile,
it's this power tool.
I just almost stepped over a human doo-doo.
Exactly.
That can be there, but then the leaves, you clean in the leaves, there's human doo-doo blower. Come on, man.
Exactly. Come on, dude. And pollution, and then it's wild to me, this like relationship to nature too, that you have a tool that's so disgusting that like blows away nature because why? You don't want to step on it? Makes no sense. I have a deep passion.
That's great. I love
for hating leaf blowers.
And you know what? One thing I would ban grass too.
What? What the fuck?
Not like natural, like I come from the Midwest where every yard has to have this fucking grass.
AstroTurf?
whatever it is.
Isn't it called AstroTurf?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's just like, why don't we just grow actual thing? Grow your own food.
Grow your own food. Grow your own grass.
Because it's only for like looks. It's not doing anything. It's not beneficial to you. You're not consuming any of it.
Yes. I agree.
That's dumb.
I love that. Okay, so amendment to...
I'll be banning a lot of shit.
Just banning shit left and right.
Every person... mandatory, they have to live 1 year in mandatory outside of the country.
Nice. I love that.
In a developing country.
In a developing country.
That's different than their culture.
Okay. I love that.
And they have to stay with a fucking family and hopefully come back less racist. It'd be funny if they had a shit experience and be like, I told you, dude.
I love that, like, also the rest of the world is like, oh, fuck. America has this new law that every one of them, those motherfuckers are going to come out now.
Like, think about how much your mind expands when you travel.
I agree. And think about how rapidly flip-flop sales for men would drop.
100%.
Because they would realize
4,000%.
Not a good look.
And we can make it cheaper too. If you're from like the rest of the country, a small town, blah blah, just come to New York. You don't even need to leave the country. There's enough diversity here.
No, petition to not have more motherfuckers come to New York City.
Rent goes up.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of Jersey. We'll take up the Jersey.
Jersey, perfect. Ali, do you know how I can meet David Hasselhoff?
Ooh. I don't. I just found out he's kind of alive today. Right now, actually. For some reason, I thought David Hasselhoff has passed.
Kinda alive. I love that.
Kinda. I didn't realize he's active. Is he good? Is he healthy?
He's mad alive.
I love him. I think he's very cool.
Yeah.
I love that he's a musician.
He's wild. You know that he's a musician. Yes.
He's a good musician?
No, but
terrible.
most people don't know that.
Love him?
You know what? It's a phenomenon that nobody will ever understand, I think.
No one knows.
No.
Maybe was this show really like influential?
But not more than anywhere else. The show was so
influential here,
You mean
right?
Baywatch or Knight Rider?
Both.
I mean, no, it was the biggest show of all time. I think still it's one of the most syndicated shows of all time. No, I think that I don't know, something about his cheesiness.
Is he German?
I mean, it's probably his background, but he's not German. He's American.
I know he's American, but like, is
But
he
I
descendant of...
Probably Welsh and German, something like that. I'm acting like I didn't Google this. Probably, maybe. I don't know if he's
you're not gonna fucking
Welsh,
come across
Irish.
him if you don't get your facts right.
He's mostly beloved in Germany for his music, his terrible music. I've been
that
to
tells
one
you
of his
so
concerts.
much about Germany.
Yes, I was 6. I went to a concert, a David Hasselhoff concert in Hamburg. My dad is traumatized still because he had to go with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what he really cries about on Thanksgiving. The memory of that concert.
Exactly, being my father. Ali, what a pleasure to have you on this podcast.
We can make this happen. He's not that popular. I bet you for $45 I can get this. I think I can make this work.
Hey, if you can make it happen, I don't know, man. My life would be complete. Ali, what a pleasure to have you on.
Such a pleasure.
Where can the people of the world find you?
I'm on Instagram at Ali Sultan Comedy, and then from then on, you can find like clips. On my website, I have my specials and stuff.
You're touring always, obviously.
Always on the road.
Always on the road.
I don't know when this comes out, but
probably in like
just find me on Instagram.
Yeah. Find Ali on Instagram, okay? Slide into his DMs. Tell him how you feel about grass. I don't know. Follow him, look him up, like, love, subscribe to everything he does. He's amazing. Obviously, you know that by now. You listened to this entire episode. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you to our patrons. You know who you are. You're so wonderful and amazing. And why don't you, listening, just become part of the Patreon family? It's easy. Also, rate this podcast, review it, send it to your friends if you love it, send it to your enemies if you hate it. What else can I say? Oh, November 17th for the New York Comedy Festival, the 100th episode live recorded at Caveat. Yes, November 17th. Get your tickets. Thank you so much to Dylan, producer extraordinaire. We love you. Love you. Mean it. Thank you, Ali Sultan, for being here today. Give it up. Woo! I'm going to Venmo you $45 so I can meet David Hasselhoff. You're the best. I love you.
Love you.
Goodbye. If you liked what you just heard, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, recommend to all your friends, and if you hated it, recommend it to your enemies. Thank you for listening to Immigrant Jam, the podcast with me, Lucy Pohl. Have a delicious and nutritious day.